Hi, I'm Ashton. And approximately 3 months ago, I got double incision top surgery with buttonhole nipples. And I'm here to update you at the 3-month mark. But first I gotta get my dog off my lap. So clearly me showing you my chest requires me stripping. But first I wanted to show you how flat I look in a normal t-shirt. And I was never this flat when I used to bind. So this is a new thing for me. I also wanted to show that, like, when you run your hands down my chest, not that many people do, you can feel that I have a nipple on this side. This side feels completely flat with a bit of a weird place where the scar is, and I'm going to show you why. So, here is my chest, 3 months post-op. It looks a bit better than it did at the 2-month mark, which was when I made my last video. I think you can see my whole chest with where the camera angle is, but I'm not entirely sure. The few things that I normally update you on: nipples, incisions, drain holes, and sensation. This guy is doing really well. There's still kind of that layer of darker skin around the areola, but generally the nipple's fairly defined in where it is, and I like the placement. Also, my allergies are like terrible right now because it's spring, so I'm really sorry. My voice is not this deep. Actually, I'm just allergic to pollen. The nipple is doing well. The skin is kind of like peel-y, but that's also totally normal as it's healing, and I'm not worried about that. As for this nipple, it is literally 90% scar. And I'm going to talk about it. Now that it is actually 90% healed, I'm going to make a video on the whole complication that I had. It's going to be a long video. There's going to be a lot of graphic pictures. If you do want to know about the complication that I had post-op surgery, then that's where that's going to be. I don't mind the shape of it, but there is no projection like there is on this nipple. And there's no clear place where the areola is like different from the nipple, and the color is also very different because it is, you know, newer baby skin. As for the scars, this one is really nice. It's completely straight, unlike the rest of me. It's fairly thin as well. You can kind of see where the staples were, the little dots, but those will heal as well. This little dot here, you can't see it because it's white, but it's a little bit raised and it's really cute. Camera picks up a lot of like discoloration around it, partly shadow, but there is some discoloration, especially around here. But I also think that that will change over time. You know, 3 months is not the completely healed mark. Generally, 6 months to a year is when most people say that they feel completely healed. However, that will also be different for me because of my complications. This scar is the same kind of like thickness and the same color, but it is like a different shape kind of thing, and that is also because of the complication, and I'll also be talking about that in a different video. This side, if you see, it's a little bit weird, but that my shoulders are also like really down. Normally I'd be here, and it looks normal, it looks fine, but it could also be related to how weirdly this side healed, which again I'll talk about later. As for the holes where the drains were, this one is nearly like completely gone. There's no bump. It's not raised at all, and I think it'll probably just end up kind of looking like my self-harm scars, so nearly not visible. On the other side, this is the one that I had the problem with, where it like opened up in an odd way, and it's also a bit lower than the other one. There is a bump, and there will likely be a bump there for the rest of my life, but it's still not a terrible scar. I don't mind scars in the first place, and these two are so tiny, especially compared to these, that I'm genuinely so unbothered. For sensation, I'm going to do the Q-tip test that I always kind of do. If you don't know why, it's because, you know, when you touch yourself, you can feel it, regardless of if you're actually numb or not. Using a Q-tip allows me to feel it only if I can feel here and not in my fingertips. So the sensation on both sides is pretty much the same other than around the nipple, but I can feel right below the scar. I can feel right below the scar. The only odd thing about the sensation is right here. It's not painful. I can feel the touch here all the way up through here. Like the nerves are still reconnecting and doing their weird things. So it doesn't feel normal, but I don't mind it. So from here all the way to here, I have that weird shooting sensation. But along here, I'm completely numb, or along the end of the scar. However, I can feel here fairly decently. I can feel all over the middle, and I can feel up to here. So I can feel almost everywhere except around the nipple. I'm numb there, although I feel it right here. But the areola and the nipple itself, I don't feel that. And above the scar, I'm more numb than below the scar, which makes sense, but still feels weird. I also had some sensation go away in my armpit, but I can feel all of that now. It's much the same for this side, except the scar is a bit more numb. I can't really feel it. And around the nipple, I don't feel like I feel the other side. Here, I can't feel anything. Here, I can't. Oh, I can feel around here, and I can't feel there. Well, I could on the other side. So that's sensation right now. Sensation will likely come all the way back, at least on this side. I don't know about this side because of the complication, but I'll likely eventually be able to feel like 90% of what I could before surgery. And as for range of motion, I am like uninhibited. I think that's a word. Like, I can move any way I want to. I have no problems with it anymore. So my range of motion is like completely back to normal. Arms wise. I also wanted to mention pain real quick, since it is 3 months after surgery, and I feel like most people wouldn't think that you're in pain at this point, but I do get occasional shooting pains as the feeling is starting to come back. So I'll feel the occasional shooting pain normally along the side or along the scar on both sides. It's not terrible, but I generally have to like stop for a minute and breathe and just let it pass. It normally lasts like 10 to 30 seconds, so it's not terrible. But it is a fairly sharp pain. However, that's completely normal, and that's literally one of the things my surgeon asks, like, hey, are you getting any shooting pains? Because you should be. So that's normal, and I'm not worried about that either. So yeah, 3 months. I think that's all I have to say when it comes to being 3 months post-op. I have another appointment with my surgeon, the technically 3-month post-op appointment, in about a week, but my appointment schedule is also pretty messed up because of the complication. So it's not like the normal checkups. It's generally like, do you need another injection of steroids? But yeah, I pretty much have no restrictions now. You know, I went to Disney World last weekend and I rode roller coasters, so like I'm fine, you know? I don't have any physical limitations, and although I am numb in some places, I'm generally good to go. This side, I'm still being pretty protective of just because complication-wise, and I actually only started not wearing a Band-Aid a few days ago, so now I am completely Band-Aid free for the first time in 3 months. Since surgery, you know, I've been wearing bandages and covers and stuff, but the past couple days I haven't worn anything over this nipple as it's not raw anymore. It's okay to put against my shirt, and it's covered up. It is skin, that's my skin, which is reassuring because for quite some time it was a hole. But yeah, that's where I am right now. If you have any questions, you might want to check out my bath video, my last bath video, because I answered like 20-30 questions that you guys gave me about top surgery. I'll link that here if I remember to, which I probably won't, let's be honest, but you can find it. And yeah, that's where I am. If you do have any specific questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or message me somewhere. I'll probably get back to you at some point. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope that your nipples are healthier than mine are, and I'll talk to you later, maybe.